Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Well, it's official. Star Wars The Clone Wars is back. We're back with a new season, and this is something that I really never thought would happen in my life. I grew up watching this show. I mean, this was a big part of my childhood, and now that I'm an adult, it's kind of like, wow, it's a different experience in a way, but yet again still feels the same. And that's what I like about this episode, The Bad Batch, Season 7, Episode 1, is that it felt very similar to the stories that we've gotten before in the Clone Wars series. And this is where I was surprised to see a lot of, I'm not going to say negative reactions to this episode, but I've heard some people who were a little disappointed with it, like they expected something bigger and grander, and it's almost like, I don't know if they haven't watched the Clone Wars in a while, or if they forgot what the Clone Wars was about, but the Clone Wars show wasn't overly a complex story. It was the typical Saturday morning cartoon show that you watched as a kid, and you enjoyed it because the stories were, some were extremely interesting. I would say out of every arc per season, there was probably at most 2 arcs each season that actually had interesting storylines and plots, but mostly it was stories like this, where you have a group of clones who have an objective, which at this point it's getting intel on how the Separatists are able to counter their movements because they've kind of figured out their pattern of routine when it comes to attacking the Separatist ships and bases and everything. Well, now the clones are like figuring out that, and Rex and Cody team up with a group called what was it, Group 99, the Bad Batch is what they're called, and unique group of clones, each have their own special quirk, if you will, and yeah, they just go get this chip from the tower that sends out signals of what the plan is for the clones or something. It's not overly complex or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still interesting. At the beginning, you see Rex kind of reflecting on his past with his other fallen comrades and brothers, and one of them, the main pitch of this entire episode, is Echo, how he misses him and everything, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, click out if you haven't seen the episode at this point. At the end, they hint that Echo is still alive, and if you recall, he died in Season 3 of the Clone Wars. I believe it was Episode 9, and I don't think this is something that we can say, oh, he's definitively alive, but, I mean, they did say at the end of the show it was a live signal. So this was a good starting point to a new arc, and each arc, I believe, is 3 episodes, maybe 4. I would hope it's 3, because there's 12 episodes in total for this season, which is, yes, a very short amount, but still, we're getting Clone Wars back. I think this was a solid episode. I think it was an enjoyable episode. I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. Would I watch it again? Probably not. Just because there's a lot of Clone Wars episodes that are exactly like this, and it goes back to my point of people almost forget that Clone Wars is not a very complex show. We look back on it with a great appreciation of fondness because it was so good, and it built a lot of the characters like Anakin Skywalker, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, compared to what they were in the prequels, which was very lacking in character and the connection that you would have with them. So this show actually gave you more emotional connection to the Jedi and to the clones, and actually made the war that happened in the prequels feel more grounded and actually feel like a world-expanding kind of story. You look at this episode, and it's like the episodes we've seen in Seasons 1 through 6, mainly Seasons 1 through 5, where when you watch the Clone Wars, there's a lot of episodes that you truly can skip and you're not going to miss anything. There's some episodes that you do need to watch. There's some episodes that are truly fascinating. In my opinion, the Mortis arc is one of the best ones. Then you even have the Camino arc, where their Separatists are attacking the clone facility on Camino. Arcs like that are very interesting. Arcs like that are some of my favorite that the show offer. But overall, there's so many episodes that you just are basic episodes for kids, and I think that's what people are forgetting now, and ironically kind of repeating history that the prequel fans always crap on the original trilogy fans for not liking the prequels, and prequel fans don't like the sequels, and now they're seeing it now with the Clone Wars, where some people are growing up and realizing, well, I didn't like this was a lot better when I was a kid. And it's like, yes, because the show is meant for kids. So I just think that's something we have to remember when we're watching these kind of shows. Of when I watched it today and I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, this reminds me of being 10 or 14 years old watching the Clone Wars and seeing the new episode come out every week and enjoying it for the most part. But you know, not having to repeat it, just remembering, oh, this is what happened. It was kind of a filler episode, if you will, or something that just was a basic, generic cartoon action show that I've seen 1,000 times before, just with different names. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Did you like the new episode or Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 1, The Bad Batch? Did you think it was supposed to be bigger, grander, more, I don't know, ambitious? The animation looked great. It's the best it's ever looked, in my opinion. I love the animation style they were going for now. It's the same, but improved. I liked it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts below. Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'll see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.